Hello people! Today we're gonna make a professional WordPress website. We're gonna make a website about a gardening company and it's gonna called Garden Magician. And the homepage is gonna look like this. We have also an about page that's gonna look like this. We have a services page, a project page, and we have a contact page. This website is completely free, and in 90 minutes we're gonna make this website, and this website costs about around like 500 to 1000. Even there will be even companies who will ask $2,000 to make this kind of website, and we are gonna make this website today for free with all free plugins and free additions to WordPress. So follow along and we'll make the website together. So this is our start screen when we install a clean version of WordPress. And the first thing we're gonna do is head over to plugins. Plugin is like it's like an application on your mobile phone. So by default we cannot do it in WordPress, but we can download plugins like apps that can give us extra functionality to WordPress. And we're gonna delete those two plugins, so we don't need them. Next thing we're gonna do is go to posts. Here are all our blog posts. This is one which is by default in the installation, hello world. We're gonna move it to trash also because we don't need it. And now we can head over to pages, and we're gonna delete those pages too. So we will start with a complete clean version. The next thing we're gonna do is install our theme. So for that we go to appearance and themes, and we're gonna install a new theme, and we have to click on add new. The new theme we're gonna install is called Ocean WP. So when we type in Ocean, you already have it here. We can click on install and it will install. We click on activate, and we can also delete those three other themes because we're not gonna use them and they're only gonna take space, so it's better to delete them. Now he's asking, this theme recommends the following plugins: Elementor, Ocean Extra, and WP Forms. Begin installing plugins. We will install those plugins because we will need them, all three of them. They will offer extra functionality. So we can install them all three in one. Now all three plugins are installed. We're gonna head over to the plugins section and click on installed plugins. Here we have information about WP Forms, but we don't really need that. So we're gonna close that for now. We will need it later. So the next thing we're gonna do is install all our pages. And for that we head over to pages and we can click on add new. I'm gonna open a new tab and click on add new. The first page we're gonna create is the home page. And when we go down, we see content layout. Select your custom layout. We're gonna select a custom layout. So by default, it looks default. Right sidebar means that sidebar is on the right, left is on the left, full width, and we're gonna choose for 100% full width. And when we head over to title on the left side, we're gonna disable the title so that it will not be visible home when we open the home page. And we click 2 times on publish, and now the home page is published. The next page we're gonna create is the about page. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to choose 100% full width, and we're gonna remove the title. Again, we're gonna click 2 times on publish. The next page is called projects. There we're gonna show all our projects to potential customers. Choose again 100% full width, and we're going to disable the title again. Click on publish. Now the page is services. Here we're going to tell our potential clients what we can offer from service. Again, we choose 100% full width and disable the title. Click on publish. And the last page is the contact page. And here we're gonna again do the same thing. And we click on publish. And the next thing we're gonna install is the menu. To install a menu, we have to go to appearance and menus. We click on that. First thing we have to do is give it a name. So I'm going to choose main because it's the main menu. And display location, here we have to say to WordPress where we have to put it. We can also put it in the top bar, in the footer, and mobile, but on a mobile automatically there will be a menu. The pages we're gonna add is all those pages. So we click on select all and add to menu. We're gonna reorganize them a little bit because probably they will not be in correct order. We're gonna start with home page, then about page, and then services, projects, and contact. We click on save, and now the menu is working on our website. So we see the menu is working. Next thing we're going to do is create our home page. So for that, we have to head over again to pages. We click on edit the home page, and here we're going to edit with Elementor. Elementor is a page builder where we can like copy and paste blocks into our home page. It makes it very easy to make a website by using Elementor. So this is how the inside from Elementor looks. On the left side, we have the elements that we can add to our website, to our page. And on the right side, we can add sections. There's also a possibility to add a template. There are many templates available, but most of them are pro. It means you have to pay. It's the paid version of Elementor. Because we are making a website from scratch, it's for this purpose it's not really needed to have the pro version. In a later stadium, it could be handy, because imagine we have to make like a website for a barbershop. Well, here you already have the complete website. So if you have a client who needs a website for a barbershop, you already have the website in 5 seconds. So this could be handy anyway. But here we're gonna work with the free version. On the left side there are the elements. You see those ones are pro. So it means we cannot use them. Pro makes it a lot more easier to make a website. But it's not really necessary to buy that. I'm going to start with creating a new section. There are different options. We can go for one column, we can go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think you can add as many columns as you want, because inside the column you can create other columns. And I'm going to start with only one column, and I'm going to add a background image to it. There are also multiple ways to add an image. When we go to elements, here we have image. We can add that to our section, but I'm not going to use that right now. I'm going to add a background image to the whole section. So I'm going to delete this one. To edit a section, we have to click in the middle, and here are all the options. To add a background image, we have to go to Style, Background, Background Type. Here we can choose, we can even add video. I'm gonna go for Classic, and here we can add the image. We will not see much because we didn't write anything yet. We didn't add any text or anything else to this section, so it will not be visible. Position, we will go for center. We don't want to repeat it. And size, we're going to choose cover. To see a little bit more of the image, I'm going to add some padding. And padding is like space. The best way to explain it is just space. For that, we have to go to Advanced. Here we can add padding. If we're going to say 50 for top, it's going to take 50 everywhere, because they are linked together. When we only want to have padding for a certain place, we have to delink them, unlink them. And I only want to have padding for top and bottom. So I'm going to say like 450 on top and 150 on bottom. In here, I'm going to use a font color white. And because the background is very bright, we're not really going to see this white color. I can show you. As a first heading, we're going to write, here you have the chance to create. It directly going to focus the attention on the potential client. They will say like, oh, here I have the chance to create. What can I create? You can create a magical garden. So to align it, we can choose either left, right, or in the middle. There's also justified. I never use that, but I imagine that then you can place it where you want. But for that purpose, I don't need that. I'm going to choose the center. The HTML tag is very important. It's an H2 tag. There's also H1, H3, H4, H5. H1 we can only use one time on a page. This is like the main title of the page. H2s we can use as much as we want. H3s, H4s, this is no problem. H1, it's best practice to only use that one time. We go to Style. Here we can change the color. If I'm going to choose white, you see, people will have to look very, very close to be able to read what we just read. And that's not good. But first, we're going to change the font. I'm going to go for Poppins. Size would be something like 20 or 25. Maybe 25. Yeah, well, 25 is good. And now we head back to the section to edit this section. And I'm going to show you how we can make this white font a little bit better to read. So when we click in the middle, edit section, we go to style and we hit back to our background image. We can add layers on that. So there are different ways to use that. I'm gonna go for background overlay, background type. We're gonna choose gradient. With gradient, we can mix two colors and combine them. We can make the image more bright, more dark, more whatever. And this way, we're gonna be able to see the white font a little bit better. So I click on gradient. First thing I'm gonna do is change that to transparent because I only need one color, because it's only the downside I want to edit. You can also change this to radial. It's gonna work in a circular form then. So here's the middle is just normal and the sides are colors. For that purpose, we don't need that, but it can also be nice if sometimes we need to use this type. I'm gonna put it back on linear. We're not gonna choose pink. We're gonna go for black. We can shift the hand and we can place it to black, or we can click here. When we click here, you see sometimes it's not changing. I don't know why, but if we want it to change, it's better to use the hand and to place it to the color we want. We can choose any color we want by moving this. And so here we have green. If we want blue, we put it here and we can have a little bit blue. I'm gonna go for just plain black. And I'm gonna change the opacity to 1. Now the white color is easier to read. So we're gonna go back to our elements panel and I'm gonna add another title. Here I'm gonna say your own dream garden. I'm also gonna align it to the center, and this is gonna be our H1. So this is gonna be the main title of the page. We're gonna go to style to edit the font and the color. I'm gonna go again for white. I don't know why I always click on that. And typography, we're gonna change Poppins. For size, it's gonna be between 40 and 50. And I'm gonna try 50. 50 is good. Here we can transform the text, so we can go for uppercase, lowercase, capitalize, or normal. I'm gonna go for uppercase, so people will directly put their attention to that, which is very good. Advanced, I'm gonna add some padding. I didn't add padding here, so here I'm gonna add padding on top and bottom. First, I'm gonna unlink it. I'm gonna add 30 to top and 30 to the bottom. I'm not gonna add left and right because you see there's already many space on the left and the right. The next thing is gonna be plain text. And here we can say, take a look at our finished projects and see what we have to offer to help you create the garden you want. Here we cannot align it to the center. We have to go to style, and here we can change the alignment. The text color is going to be again white, and typography is going to be, the font is going to be again Poppins. The size, I think, will be 18. It's a little bit too big. Let's say 16. It's small. 17. Below that, we're gonna add 2 buttons. We're gonna add a button to let people see all our finished projects, and we're gonna add a call to action that people can contact us to ask how much we want, how much we ask to work in their garden or to create their garden. Oh yeah, before we add buttons, if we want to have 2 buttons next to each other, it's not possible by using just button. So you will see if I'll try to put it here, it places it automatically above each other. To fix that problem, we first going to delete the buttons. And we can add an intersection. Intersection is gonna divide this 1 column that I created into 2 columns inside this 1 column. So this is gonna look like that. If I'm gonna add a button here, I can add another button here, and they will be next to each other and not below each other. Now we can go ahead and add a button. This button is gonna be projects. It's gonna link to our project page. We already made that page. We haven't worked on it yet, but we can already link to it. I will align it to the center. In style, I'm gonna change the font, which will be Poppins. And my dog is not happy. Text color can stay white. Background color, we will change to a specific color, and it's gonna be 8 CD100. Here we can add padding. I'm gonna unlink it because I'm gonna choose a little bit more padding on the right and the left, and a little bit less on the top and the bottom. If you want to have everything the same, we can leave it like that, but I think it's a little bit nicer if we have somewhat more padding on the left and the right, and a little bit less on top and bottom. And this font is pretty small, so I'm going to change that a little bit to, let's say, 25. Yeah, 25 is good. Now we can just copy this button and place it here. So we click on copy and paste. This one is going to call, this one we're going to call contact us. And this button is going to link to the contact page, where people can find our address and they can contact us to ask questions if they have an idea for their garden. Now we can start to create another section, but first I'm gonna update, because if we make a mistake or anything, this first section is already finished, so it's good practice to update it. The next section is going to be again 1 column. So I'm going to add 1 column. Here again, I'm going to add a background image. We go to style, background type. Here we can add the image. Again, we will not see much because we haven't changed anything yet. Position is gonna be center center. There will be no repeat, and it will cover the whole space. Later we will do background overlay to make it again a little bit more dark down so we see what we just typed. I'm going to change the padding. We're going to choose again 450 for the top and 150 for the bottom. Now the picture is already visible, but the white text will not be easy to read it. So we will change this overlay again. We'll choose gradient, transparent, and black. Opacity to 1, and now we can start writing. In the second section, we're going to add our services. It's gonna link to the services page. It's gonna be a short description of what we do in particular, and we'll start with adding the heading, which is services. We already chose the H1, so it can stay H2. We'll align it to the center, and we're going to change the font and the color. Size will be, we'll say, 50 will be good. Here we can again use uppercase. And we're gonna add some padding to the bottom. I'm gonna add 25. We'll add another heading. And we'll say like close encounter of the garden kind. Close encounter with nature. We're gonna align it also to the center. In style, we're gonna change the color to white. We're gonna change the font to Poppins. We're gonna change the size to like 25. And we can add some padding on the bottom. 25. Below that, we will write down our services. We have 3 main services. So for that, I'm going to create an inner section. And below that, I'm going to create another inner section because we have buttons. And if we're not going to create this other inner section, the buttons will not be on the same line. So I'm going to create a 3rd column. And we're going to copy this and paste it below it. So now we have our 6 columns. The first thing is designing. So we're going to add a heading, designing. It's white, it's Poppins. And we're gonna make it again per case. We don't really have to change anytime this text color and this font, but I did it like that for you to get used to using the elements, using Elementor. Also because I'm not anytime using the white color, so if I will put it by default on white, then anytime I have to change when I'm using another color. It's best practice to use only one color for writing on a website. Here in this website you will see I will use 3 different colors, and that's not best practice. It looks more professional when you're only using one color, but because I cannot keep using white anytime and I cannot use black anytime, you will see because of the pictures are too bright. So I have to change color sometimes. But if you have the chance to have only one main color, it always will look more professional. If it's, for instance, a barber shop, we can go for black or white. It's no problem. For this garden website, in a garden, there's always many colors, that la la la. So you will see why I'm using different colors. We're gonna add just a simple text editor below it, and we're gonna write, we make the plan and give instant insight on price, our landscape engineers will make a selection according to climate and orientation of the garden. Well, looks good. We're gonna change the color again and align it to the center. Go for pop-ins. Size can stay like that. Below that, we're gonna add a button, and this button is gonna link to our services page. So we can type in link services and connect it. Here we can say like read more. We're gonna align it to the center, and we're gonna change the background color of the button. I'm gonna go again for 8 CD 100. We're gonna add some padding. Top and bottom will be 20, and this will be 30. We can increase the size a little bit to 25 maybe. Yes, 25 is good. Now we can just copy and paste this to all the other columns. So I'm gonna copy this button. I'm gonna copy this heading. And we're going to copy the text. This is very easy to work with Elementor because we can just copy and paste, drag and drop everything we want to do. We can make a website in no time actually. So the second heading will be planting, and the third heading will be maintenance. In the second column, we will say like members of our team will go on site and do the practical work. We will plant and nurture the soil, giving the right minerals and vitamins to grow and flourish. In the third column, we will write once or twice a year. Maintenance is needed in the garden. We offer pruning and weeding. We also do lawn care and pests control. So this is the second section. Now we're gonna head over to the third section. And here we're gonna give a little bit of information about the history of our company and why people should hire us. So we're gonna start with creating a new section. I'm going to use 2 columns right now. In one column, I'm gonna add an image. In another column, I'm gonna write a little bit information about the company. So the image that I'm gonna add is, I'm gonna drag it to here. click on it, and I'm gonna use this image. But first I will make it full width. So we can do that by clicking on edit section. And we see here content width boxed. We can make it full width. So now the image will be half of the screen. So we're gonna add a little bit of information. Start by heading. And it's here that I'm gonna use green color. So I said before that it's best practice to use only one color, but because I'm using many bright images, it's difficult to keep one color. So we're gonna say how it all started. I'm gonna center it, and I'm gonna edit the font. Color, I will say again like this 8 CD 100. I'm going to change it to pop-ins, and we can say maybe 50. Yeah, 50 is good. We're going to add some padding that it's a little bit more down. $50 is going to be better. And maybe 25 on the bottom. So the next thing is just a little bit text about how our company started and where we are right now today. So we can say like in 2012, me and my wife, well, me and my partner started Garden Magician. Now 2020, we are a company with 12 employees covering the 3 main aspects of gardening. Now we're gonna explain those 3 later. We have a team of landscape engineers. I don't know if it's landscape engineers or landscaping engineers because I'm not English. My main language is Dutch, so but you'll understand what I mean. We have a team of landscape engineers who are visiting the site. A team of gardeners who will be responsible for the practical work. And we have a team of professionals who will help maintain the garden you wanted. So this we're gonna align to the center. We're gonna change the color. Yeah, we're gonna change the color anyway. I'm gonna use again this 8 CD 100, and typography will be Poppins again. Poppins. And I can say maybe 20. 16. Maybe I can add a little bit more padding here because there's too much white space here. Like say advanced, maybe 80 or 90. 90. Yeah, 90, and maybe here I'm gonna take like 40. Yeah, that looks better. So we have not too much white space below. Usually when you're working for a client, they will provide with text and information about the company, and it will be a little bit more than those few sentences that I wrote. but because it's only an example, you understand what I mean, I guess. So now we're gonna create another section, and we're gonna do basically the same. Actually, we can use just copy and paste, but we're not gonna do that because I'm gonna do it slightly different. And create another section with 2 columns. Now I'm gonna put image here, and here I'm gonna explain why they have to hire us. So why they need our company, why we are better than another company. We can make it full width again. So we do that by clicking on edit the section, and content width, we put it to full width. I'm gonna add an image here. The image that we're gonna choose is this one. And now on the right side, we will write why they have to hire us. So here we're also going to use padding, but I don't know how far we're going to go to the end. So I will do this padding at the end when I see how much white space there is still left. For a website, you don't want to have much white space. You want everything to be filled. Too much white space it doesn't look professional. So we can say from title why you should hire, why you should consider hiring us. And again, we're gonna align it to the center. H2 is good. Style, we're gonna go for this green again. It's moss green. 8CD100 and Poppins. Say 50. It's good. Now we're going to create another heading. And we're going to select professional team. This heading we can copy 2 times because we're going to use it in total 3 times. And we're going to add some plain text below. No, shouldn't copy it. Copying is good, but I didn't edit it yet, so it's basically gonna do 3 times the same, and that's not a good idea, so I'll copy it later. Professional team, we go to style. Here I will choose black. I'm gonna go Poppins. Size will be maybe 20, 22. And forgot to align it to the center. So this is good. Padding we'll do later. We'll see how far we get. And as a text, all right, offering you a professional plan. We help decide what plants and trees to choose according to the climate and orientation of the garden. And this is going to align to the center also. Change the color to black. And typography to profits. And size, well, size can, which one I chose? 16. We'll go for 16 too. And when we have just plain text, it's also better to keep using the same. If you have too much differences, it will look less professional, and yeah, we don't want that. So now we can copy this title 3 times, and we can copy this text also 3 times. Now it's edited, so Now the only thing I have to change is the text. So I'm gonna copy that and paste it 2 times. I'm gonna copy that and paste it 2 times. When you couldn't paste it below, you can take it like that and you can just drag it to where you want it to be. So the second title we're gonna say maybe talking about our experience. Over 20 years. No, it only exists 8 years. Say over 15 years. Over 15 years experience in gardening. And here we can say 80% of our employees have over 15 years of experience in gardening. Together we can create your own personal place of peace. We are giving correct pricing and free maintenance for 1 year long. That's good. And here we're gonna say like we have over 400 happy customers. We have over 400, or maybe we can start with we have, because I already have over 15 years. We have over 400 happy customers. And we can say in 8 years time we have worked with over 400 happy customers all over the state. Voila. So now the third section is ready. We're gonna head over to the last section of the homepage, and our homepage is finished. You see, it already looks pretty neat, pretty professional, and that's good. Oh yeah, before I add a new section, I said in the beginning that we would look how much padding we need, how far we would come, but you see the image is completely filled, so it's not really needed to add some extra padding. If we would add extra padding right now, and train is passing, if we would add extra padding here, image would not be correct, so it would not be nice. So we're not going to use padding here. We're going to create the last section of the homepage, and it's going to exist in one column. I'm going to add a background image to it. Therefore I go to style, background type, and I'm going to add the last image of the homepage. I'm going to take this one. And insert it. Here I'm going to choose again center. It will be fixed. It's no repeat, and it will cover. Background overlay we will do later. Go to advanced, and again we will choose for 450 pixels for top padding and 150 for bottom. And here we're gonna write. Maybe it's too much. We'll see later. I think it's too much. We'll see. So I'm gonna add a heading, and I'll say, here are a few of our projects. Here are a few of our projects. Maybe we can put it uppercase. So again, will be nice. So font color will be again white. Oh, I forgot to put this gradient yet. First finish that. We'll do pop-ins, and we can say maybe 40. 40 is good. Transform uppercase, yeah. Okay. So before we continue, I will change this. For that, we have to edit section again. We go to style, background overlay, gradient, change the first color to transparent, second one to black, opacity to 1, and it's much better. So now we can continue. Here we're going to add an image carousel. It will be like a slider with our projects. So for that, I'm gonna type in carousel, image carousel, and add it here. And here we're gonna add the images that are going to be used in our slider carousel. And it's this. Add them. I'm gonna create the new gallery. It's gonna look pretty basic. In Elementor Pro, there are plenty of fancy carousels that you can use, fancy sliders, but here we're using a free version, so for the purpose of this tutorial, it's not really needed to use a fancy carousel. I'm gonna change maybe to 300. Yeah, they look a little bit bigger. And here we can decide how many slides we want to see. We can do 1, but that looks odd. I'm gonna choose for 3. And slides to scroll, that means how many slides will scroll when we click. By default it's 1. I'm gonna leave it to 1. This is good. We can place arrows and dots, or only arrows, only dots, or nothing. I'm going to use arrows and dots, and the link will be to projects. So custom URL projects. Below that, we're going to add yet a button, so they can go to our projects page. And I'm going to add a button. We're going to center it. And I can say see all. Again, we're going to link it to projects. We're going to change the background color of the button again to this 8CD100, and maybe add some padding on the top and bottom. I could add like 20, and on the sides I'll add 30, and maybe change the font to pop-ins, and size will be maybe 25. Yeah, 25 is good. So this is our homepage. The homepage is finished. Now we're gonna head over to the about page. But before we do that, click on update. And now we can head over to the next page. We can do that by clicking on this menu here and exit to dashboard. I'm gonna open the about page and edit with Elementor. So the next page we're gonna edit is the about page. We're gonna start again with a new section. I'm gonna add a background image. gonna do center and leave a default, no repeat, and cover. We're gonna add some padding. I'm gonna use less than before because we only want to have a small heading like that bridge. Now we're gonna add text, how it all began. So we can leave it to the left side. We could also center it, but I'm gonna leave it to the left. And we're gonna change the color to white and typography to Poppins. Size will be maybe 40, and the rest will leave like that. I'm gonna add this gradient yet. I forgot about it. Put transparent, black, opacity to 1, and we can continue. We're going to create another section. It's only going to be one column again because it's going to be text. We're going to start with a heading. You can say like a quick history recap, and this we're going to put, no, we're going to leave it to the left, but I'm going to use uppercase for that. So say color is black and Poppins. And say 40 again. Yes, and say uppercase. Maybe take 35. 35. Now we're gonna add a text. And I started this company with my wife 8 years ago. We went from 2 to 12 employees in just 4 years. Now 8 years later, we finished over 400 projects in the whole state. And this you can align to the center and change the color to black, typography font to Poppins, size can be like again 16. And now we're gonna add some images. So we're gonna start with another section, and I'm gonna use 2 columns. We're gonna add 2 images. First I'm gonna put it to full width, so we go to the middle, edit section, content width, full width, and I'm gonna add 2 images. I'm gonna choose this image. Copy and paste it. And here I'm gonna choose that image. And here we're gonna add a code. So we can call this a heading. Oh, forgot. First to add another section and another heading. And here we can say like a garden is a friend you can visit anytime. So we'll put to the center. We'll change it again to uppercase, so it's nicely visible. This we can say 40 and text transform uppercase. below we're gonna add yet another section with another background image, and image is going to be this one. We're gonna insert it. We're gonna add some padding. So say 150. Oh, forgot to unlink it. Okay, so 150 and 50 on the bottom. That's good. We're going to change the gradients. Oh, position will be center, center. No repeat and cover. We're going to add the overlay, gradient, transparent, and black. Opacity to 1. And here we're going to add fancy counter. So for that, we have to create an inner section. So we're going to create inner section, and we'll look for something. I think it's called counter. Yeah, counter. We'll add it inside, and here we'll say like 400 plus. Here we can add the plus. We can also add minus or %, but we're gonna add plus 400 plus, and the title will be projects done. Projects done. We're going to change the color. We're going to use again this green variant. So this 8 CD100, and for title we'll say maybe white. Typography will be Poppins, and size can be the same. Okay, so now we're gonna copy this 4 times because we're gonna use it 4 times. Paste, and paste, and paste, and I'm gonna remove this one. So in the second column, we're gonna say maybe if you have 400 projects, maybe not all of them will be married, so we'll have like maybe 657 happy clients. Happy clients, because probably some of them will not be happy. You always have people who are not happy whatever you do. And here we're gonna say plant types. So how many different plant types we would put in 400 projects? Maybe 2,378 plant types. And in the last column, we're gonna say how many trees we planted. So trees planted, maybe 547 trees. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna capitalize this D, so it looks all the same. So the about page is finished. Maybe we can add a little bit less padding here and a little bit more padding here, because it looks like it's shrugged. We'll say here advanced, maybe 120, no, 100. Yeah, 100, and here we're gonna add some extra padding. So we'll say like 30 on the top and 30 on the bottom, and here we'll add also some padding. Say 30 on the top and 30 on the bottom. Okay, so now there's a little bit more space, and we click on update, and the about page is finished. We can click on a menu here to go back to our dashboard. The next page we're gonna do is a projects page. So we can click on it and edit with Elementor. On the projects page, we're going to display all our projects. So we will start with creating a new section, and we're gonna add a background image to our section. We do that by going to the middle, edit section, style, background type, and we're gonna add the image. And what image I'm gonna choose? Or I'm gonna go for another bridge. We'll make it slightly visible. And here I'm gonna go for 150 and 50. We'll see later if we have to adjust it, but I think it's gonna be okay. Position will be center, center. There will be no repeat, and it will be covered. We'll do the overlay. Now I won't forget. Gradient, transparent, black, opacity to 1, and we can start writing. We're gonna start with adding a heading, and we're gonna say our latest projects, and we're gonna uppercase this. Should we put it in center? I'm gonna leave it to the left. Here I can say color white, typography is font is gonna be Poppins, and here we're gonna say 40 or 50. I'm gonna start 50. That's, I'll see after transform more. That's good. More, maybe wait 40. Okay, 40. So we're going to create another section. It's gonna be one column, and we're gonna add a heading. We're gonna say, take a look at our latest projects. And maybe this we can center. We'll change the color to, oh, choose this green again. And typography font is going to be Poppins. Here we're going to say maybe 40. That's good. And we're not going to uppercase it. We're going to create another, maybe I will first add some padding. So we don't have to do that later. Say 30 and maybe another 30. Yeah, okay. So now basically we're going to add a few images of projects that we finished. We could use again this carousel, but because we already used that in our previous page, homepage, I'm going to add just plain images. So we're going to go for 2 structures with 3 columns. So we can click on copy and we can paste it in here, and it will create 2 sections of 3 columns. Yeah, it would be better if we use 100% full width again. So we go to options here in the middle, and we change box to full width. We're going to change it here too, box to full width, and we're going to add 6 images. So we'll start with 1 here, and we're heading over to our projects, and here we have 6 projects, 7. Yeah, I'm gonna add them. Oh, 6. I can't count anymore. And now we can just copy and paste all those images. It will be anytime the same. But we'll change it later. So we'll change this one to this one, and this one to this one. I'm going to fast. I didn't notice it's actually the same house. But anyway, you understand what I mean. Uh, so now we could actually, when we click on edit columns, we could change columns gap to no gap, which means that all the images will be connected towards each other. And for some purposes, that would be nice. But if we would do that on this page, it wouldn't be nice. So I will leave it to default and leave a little bit space between. Maybe I will add a little bit more padding here. And maybe I will say maybe 50 on top and 50 on bottom. Yeah. And now we're going to update the page, and this page is finished. We're going to head over to the other page, and the next page we're going to do is the services page. So we're going to exit to dashboard, and we're going to open services page. Edit with Elementor. Yeah, okay. What we're gonna do on this services page is telling about our services, what we can do to people, how we can help people creating a garden that they always wanted. We're gonna start with a small heading picture, heading background. And we're gonna click edit section. We're gonna add an image. Go to services page, and we're gonna add this image. We're gonna focus on center, that we see those flowers. Center. There will be no repeat, and it will be covered. We'll add some padding, 150 and 50 on the bottom. And we're gonna add first this gradient. Almost forgot again. I don't know how many times I already had to do this over and over again. I started with my heading, and this overlay is not yet in order. And this is probably, I think I made already 1,000 websites or something, and surely it happened to me like 300 or 400 times. So the gradient, transparent and black, opacity to 1. And we're going to add our heading. Heading is going to call services. Maybe we can take it, maybe we can put it uppercase. Yes, we're going to do that. Text color will be white. Typography font will be Poppins. Size 50, uppercase. And now we're going to start building our services. For that, we're going to create 3 different sections and have 2 columns. So we're going to create the first section of 2 columns. In one column we will add an image, in another one we will add some information. Heading will be the first thing we will do is landscape designing, because we need to draw how we're going to create the garden. I'm going to use this green color again, and typography will be Poppins again, and say 40 will probably be good, and we'll do it uppercase. And we're gonna add some information. Maybe here I will just use some dummy text, because I'm not a gardener myself, so I don't really know what we have to talk about. we'll change color to black. We'll align it to the center, and we'll change the font to Poppins. Size will be 16. And next to it, we're gonna add an image. Probably we'll have to adjust some padding because the image will not be fully visible. We're going to add the image, and what we should take, services. The image is probably already in my library. Yeah, it's this one I want to use. Okay, so we see we have too much white space, so we will add a little bit padding that everything fits nicely. We'll start with the title, go to advanced, and we can say 30 on the top and 30 on the bottom. Say 50 on the top and 50 on the bottom. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so now we're just gonna copy this section and paste it in here. I'm gonna paste it again in here. We're going to change the images, so we can do that by taking the image, put it here, taking the title, put it there, taking the text and put it, oh, we want the title above the text. We're going to change the image, and we're going to change the text. And here we're going to change the text, and here we're going to change the image. I'm going to leave this dummy text like that because you understand the principle. Here we can say planting and pruning trees. And here we can say maintenance. And we're going to change the image to trees. And we're going to change this image to this lawnmower. And now our page is finished, but we're gonna add some additional services. So these are the three main things that our company does, but we're going to add yet some extra services. We're gonna add a background image, and I'm going to choose this one. We will start with 400, we'll add some padding, and we will start with 450 on the top and 150 on the bottom. And I will look after how it looks. If there's too much white space, probably there will be. So I can maybe already change it right now to 250, and that probably will be better. So say center, center. We don't want to repeat, we won't cover. We'll do the overlay. This is going to be transparent. This is going to be black, and opacity to 1. And we're gonna add our heading. Heading will be more services. More services. We will align it to the center, and I will change the color to white. Typography to font will be Poppins, and this will be 30, and maybe, yeah, maybe we'll put it uppercase. Okay, that's good. We don't want to add, we don't need to add any padding because we already did padding on the background image. So, but we're going to add one line, and that's a divider. It will divide the different services that we offer. By default, it's solid and 1 pixel. I think that will be enough. We'll only change the color to white, and we can leave it like that. So now we're going to create an inner section, because we're going to have 2 columns of 3 services. The first one we can say weeding and pests control. We'll change the color to white. Font to Poppins. Size we can stay like it is, and maybe we can align it to the center. Well, anyway, it looks better like that. Okay, so now we're going to copy and paste, and we're going to add another divider, and add a divider here and a divider here. We're going to copy and paste again. This one we're going to change the color to white, and the rest can stay as it is. I'm going to change that color to white, and the rest can stay like it is. We're going to copy this one and paste it over here, paste it over here, copy this one and paste it over here, and paste it over here. So now we have our 6 services. The next one will be pruning trees. Pruning trees. This one will be watering, and this one will be lawn care. And this one will be nurturing soil, giving the right minerals, nurturing soil. And the last one will be what we could do yet, maybe indoor gardens, because some people like to have a garden in their home. I'm gonna capitalize the soil and gardens so that everything is neat. Gardens, okay. And the services page is finished. Should we add some more padding somewhere? No, everything looks good. Okay, we can click on update, and we go to the other page, contact page. That's the last page we have to edit. Click on edit, edit with Elementor. This is the last page we have to do, so we're almost done. To create the contact page, we need to have a form, and in the beginning we installed a plugin WP Forms. Right now we're going to need that plugin. I'm gonna exit to dashboard, and I'm gonna head over to this plugin, and I'm gonna look if there's a default form, and there is. I don't know if there will be a default form in your installation. If there is not, we can just add new. We can give it a name like contact form. We can select a template. I'm just gonna go for simple contact form. That's the name, email, and comment. Um, for those kind of things, it would be handy if we have phone number and address that we know how far it is if they really want to ask pricing and everything like that. But it's paid, so we cannot use it for free. It's a pro feature. So if you want to upgrade to pro, you can. I can provide you with a link, but for this tutorial, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna use this form and click on save, embed, and here we see title false, description false. Maybe it's because I didn't give a description, doesn't matter. If we're gonna head over to here, we see the new form that we made, and here is the shortcode. So this is the only code we need to add this form. We'll copy and paste it, and we can return to our contact page. We can directly click on edit with Elementor because we already edited, we already opened it with Elementor. So now there's a new tab here, edit with Elementor. I'm going to start again with a picture on the background, with a background image. Edit section, style, background type, and I'm gonna look for that picture. I'm gonna use this one. Again, we're gonna say 150 padding on top and 150 padding on the bottom. Can already put this to center, and this to no repeat, and this to cover. We could already do overlay, but I will wait until we have a little bit, until we see the picture better. 150 on bottom, 150 on top, and 50 on the bottom. That doesn't look pretty good. Maybe here we're gonna choose, yeah, we could choose bottom center. And background overlay, so gradient, transparent, and the second one will be black, opacity to 1, and we're going to add our heading. The heading will be contact us. Will be an H1, and I will leave it to the left. I'll change the color to white, font to Poppins, and say 50. We could transform it to uppercase, yes. And the next thing is here we're going to add a picture, and here we're going to add our form. So we're going to create a new structure, a new section with 2 columns. Here's a picture, and in here is the form. We'll see later. Probably I will have to put it 100% full width. We will see how it looks. So I will first add the image. We're going to add this image. And now we're going to add our form. We copied a shortcode, so we don't have to look for a widget called form. We have to look for a widget called shortcode. And this widget we're going to add. We're going to copy and paste. We're going to paste the shortcode, and here we have our form. And probably it will be better if I will put it on full width. So edit section, full width. Yes, that looks nicer. But we have to adjust some padding here. It's too close to the border and it doesn't look nice. Here we have a blue button. Later we'll fix that and we'll make it green. But first I will add some padding. Oh, I'm still in section now, so that's not good. I have to be in this shortcode element, and here I can add some padding. Could say 30 on the top and 30 on the bottom, and maybe 25 on the right and 25 on the left. Look, that looks much better now. Okay, so our contact page is finished. Now we just have to look for yet logo. We have to change the color yet of the menu and change the color of this button. We will apply update changes, and we can hit back to our dashboard. So the first thing we're going to do right now is add a logo. When we're visiting the website, you will see that, there's something we have to do first. I forgot to change that the front page is a home page. So for that, we have to go to Appearance, Customize, Homepage Settings, and here your homepage displays a static page, and we have to select the page Home. So now when people going to visit your website, they will directly come to this page. I forgot to mention that. Click on Publish, we hit back, and now we're going to add a logo, and to add this logo, we're going to header here, logo, select logo, and I made a small logo, very simple one, just for this tutorial. We will enlarge it, crop image. So if it's a little bit too big, we can make it smaller here, or we can make it larger. Depends. For me, it's okay. Click on Publish, and we're going to change yet the colors of the menu. For that, we go to Menu. Here it is link color, and there's link hover. It means when you hover over it, and there's the current menu item. This current menu item, I will use that color that we used before, 8CD100. Okay, 8CD100. When we hover over it, maybe we can choose something more green yet. Hover is going to be, we're going to type in 8CD, right? CD100, and maybe we'll change it to a little bit more dark green, like that. And this link color itself can stay the same. We'll click on Publish, and now when we're gonna hover over it, it will change color. So the last thing we have to do right now is when we go back and we visit our website, now when we refresh it, it will be our home page. When we go to contact, this button is blue and all our other buttons are green. So we want to have the same button on our contact page. And now it's time to add a little bit additional CSS. So we're going to open a notepad, and when we're using Chrome, I don't know if you're using Firefox, there's also a function, but I'm using Chrome. So when I'm doing inspect, I can see the CSS of this button. I can see the classes and all the aspects of the button. And we have that here. We see background color is this HCD 100, padding is 20, 25, 20, and 25, font family is pop-ins. I'm going to copy this and paste it in Notepad. Now I'm going to head over to the contact page and I'm going to look what class is connected with this button. To know the class, we have to click on plus. So first we need to hover over it, then right mouse click, inspect, and here we have all the properties of this button. When we click on plus, we see what classes are connected with this button. So we can just copy this and when we delete this and paste what we just had, we make sure that we remove those two, that everything fits nicely. So we have open brackets, closing brackets, and here we copy, and this we're going to add to our website. So we have to hit back to customize. Here we see custom CSS or JavaScript. And I already added for previous site, but we're going to paste it, publish, and now we have this button. It looks a little bit like too big, so maybe we can say like 15 here. And yeah, that's okay. Click on publish. And now basically we're done.